So last question. I think everyone wants to know that. Have you seen my review of See You Soon? Hello guys, I'm joined by Mr. Mahesh Narayanan and we'll be talking about Ariyippu. Ariyippu. First of all, you have been touring with the film.
Yeah.
Going to different festivals. How's that experience?
It's great actually. This is our 8th festival actually. So started with Locarno, then BFI, Busan, San Diego, Hong Kong, and Marrakesh, and now coming here. It's great for me.
Because you're also meeting your audiences who like to watch your films.
So Locarno, it was a totally different experience because that was there is a kind of age category when you look at festivals. Like here we have seen a rather younger crowd than the older crowd.
Yeah.
Locarno is not like that. Locarno is mostly elder crowd. So I was happy that the film, we had some 1,400, 1,800 people. So that was a kind of to open a film to such a crowd and a European crowd, and they had different perspectives about India and labor class, working class. So every time they had some. See, I had to explain like how this entire functionality of India happens, and then they want to know the route about how this marriage happens, whether it's an arranged marriage or whether So I have to explain every time this is a marriage of convenience, and the girl is a skilled worker, husband takes the route. So all these kinds of things happen always. When going to BFI is different because BFI is a diaspora of whole of the world. So they all know about the migration situation. And Busan was totally different because even the subtitle when a wife is actually addressing the husband as a elderly person.
Yeah.
So they were really confused, why she's addressing like that. So I was just explaining them that this is the situation in India. So they were quite there were different debates happening there, and a lot of people even asked me in Busan that why she's working again in that same company. And I said no, she has earned that job and it's her life. She had to do with it's not about she has got a job in terms of what it's a merit job what she has got.
Yeah.
So ultimately she has to survive on that. So they were really surprised because after knowing all these scams happening in that factory, why she's again working in that space. So I had to explain again to them, and certain nuances they will miss, and I have to explain.
Yeah. And this was the Indian premiere, and IFFK will be the Kerala premiere.
IFFK will be the Kerala.
So excited for that?
Yeah, because that will be our last leg of the festivals, and then it will be coming to Netflix. So
okay.
I'm happy that it's almost like a year now. So we are started from August to December. It's been quite a long journey with Ariyippu. So I'm happy.
So during this time, are you just having a rest time? No.
It is basically I just had a clash where where BFI and Busan was happening together. I couldn't go to San Diego because Marrakesh was happening at the same time. So I had to opt either this festival or this festival. So I opted Marrakesh because I wanted to see a lot of filmmakers, and I knew that Farhadi was coming there. So he's one of my icons. So I had a chance to meet him and show him the film there. So I'm
Okay.
happy.
So it's like you are planning for your next film's writing or just free?
No,
doing
I'm
anything?
writing. I'm
Okay.
writing. So
No break time as
No,
well.
this is the first film where I'm trying something which is this is my fourth film feature. So, but this is my first film where I'm trying festivals round first and then coming back to theatrical or platform.
Yeah.
So this is a great experience for me.
So all your films have been very different.
Yeah.
But one thing is interestingly is that all are inspired from real lives.
Something like that.
Most films are, but yours are very true incidents. You take that
because I pick up stories from my surroundings.
Yeah.
So I use that. So here also it's the same thing.
So some stories have real stories.
So
have
here,
incorporated.
if you look at Decalation, it's about the incident happened. I read an article about a lady working in a bank, which was in DNA, DNA newspaper. It is about a lady, long time back, about a lady fighting with the High Court of Bombay, saying that in identity declaration, because a lookalike video of her was circulated in a porn site.
Okay.
So she was because of that she had some problems with the family, and because she was working in a bank, she had lots of issues there. So so I was very much triggered into that, and there was a sarcastic comment made by a judge at that time, because they gave her the declaration, but saying that this is not a legal proof, like this doesn't have any kind of validity in India, because it's a digital footprint. It can come up any day.
Yeah.
So now we can give you that it's not you, but after a few years, if somebody comes up and say that, okay, is it you? So she said, okay, I'm an Indian citizen, I'm working, and I'm a working class person. I'm a person who's feeding my family. I'm a working woman, and I need to have this declaration just because to prove that the girl in that video is not me.
Yeah.
So I was always inspired on that, and I was also trying to weave a story out of that. But after the pandemic, I have got a chance to visit a lot of gloves factories because they are all the frontline workers, and so I understood this. See, I'm very much interested in this migration stories.
Yeah.
All my stories are somehow or the other related to migration. So there is this migration route of gloves workers from Kerala going to trying to with a will to go to Malaysia, Singapore or Indonesia, but they have to live in Delhi for 6 to 8 months. That's a transit period for them.
Yeah.
So I got inspired with that. I thought, okay, why can't I make a story out of that and then club it together, and then at that, it was at that time when I read about certain stories about this scam happening in certain factories in UP and Goregaon and all. So because they were recycling all these gloves and all, and then because India is full of scams, as you know. But the problem is like these kind of scams are very extreme level, because health products and first aid kits were very much needed during the COVID time periods, and so people are digging out of scams from anything. So this was a new kind of a scam for them, and so most of these factories, some of these factories were they were not exporting gloves. It was created for nitrile gloves basically, so they were created for local use. But during the pandemic, the need for these kind of surgical equipments was so much in bulk that they had to go with export quality. So so I was also inspired into that segment, and so I tried to weave a story out of that.
Yeah.
That's how this happened.
So you shot this in Delhi?
Yeah.
I think this was the first time?
Yeah, this is the first time I'm shooting, because this is the first film of mine which is there's not a single scene in Kerala.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think in Takeoff also you had few scenes in Kerala.
Yeah, but
at the
Takeoff,
end,
because the story started in Kerala, then moved to Iraq.
Yeah.
But here it is completely happening in Delhi.
Yeah. So how was it shooting there?
Shooting
Because for
was
me
shot
it
in,
was two words merging.
Yeah, because for me this is pan India.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me this is the thing, because a film where 50% of the languages in Hindi, 50% in Malayalam, some in Tamil, some in other dialects. So this is pan India for me. So when I was writing the first draft, I thought about let me make a film which is somewhat close to my heart. I don't want to look into the commercial norms and everything, because you know me very well. So I've been trying I follow the mystery, where I need theatrical people to come and watch my film, but this is not that kind of film.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay, why? So that's why I came up as a producer also for this film, because otherwise this will never happen. And I think maybe because of the support given by platforms, I think this is the right time for such kind of films to be produced from India and to be showcased abroad, and they will understand, okay, what is happening here, and how to make something very the labor class, how to how they are exploited, and working class, the kind of end of the day, a lot of people say that it's a female empowerment kind of a feministic film and all, but ultimately it's not dialogue basi or anything. Like, I've never used any kind of huge dialogue drama and anything. Like, I've tried to keep it minimal and try to stay close to my story.
Yeah. So what about shooting? Like the challenges you faced shooting in Delhi, also because it was winters. I'm assuming.
Yeah. So my biggest challenge was getting a factory.
Okay.
So the major problem was since you saw the film, there is a sensitive issue in the film. So for that reason alone, not many factories were allowing me a permission to shoot inside the factory. And also another thing is that during the pandemic, because we shot during the second phase of the pandemic, which was actually the peak in Delhi.
Yeah.
And the thing is, none of the factory people were actually willing to give me permission because I was shooting with live sound, and I had to shut down the machinery for quite some time so that so for my actors to perform. So they were not willing to do that. So I had to build a set. So me along with the production designer and DOP, we chose a space where a unproductive line was there, and then we actually created gloves for the factory for the film. So that was the challenging part.
That is amazing.
Yeah, because we produced gloves for the film.
Yeah. Also because you said, right, 50% is Hindi.
Yeah.
And previously there were some Malayalam films which used Hindi, and Hindi is the dialogues don't come out nicely, or they don't get the actors, but you did that, and I think that was the best part of the film. How was that process?
See, I basically it's about who are the actors who go to perform. Like, I didn't take any kind of mainstream actors. If you look at Loveleen Mishra or Faisal Malik or Siddharth Bharadwaj, they're all like unsung heroes for me. Like we all see them in regular films, but they are not utilized well. So if you look at Faisal, he's in Panchayat, but he's not that much utilized. And Loveleen also. Loveleen has been working from she's the Chutki from Doordarshan days. So, but still, she's not utilized that much. So I'm fond of these kind of people, and they were all willing to collaborate with me and work on this thing. And this is the first time I'm writing something apart from my language. So I tried a lot because I wrote the script in Noida only.
Okay.
Because I stayed in Noida. I for a month, and then I explored a lot of factories, interacted a lot of factory workers. Because otherwise, just staying in Kerala and I can't write a story like this. It's difficult for me. So this process was very much challenging for me. And every time when I get something new, I get refreshed. It's not about whatever. See, I take one thing that my one film should not be similar to other.
Yeah.
That is my always which keep in my mind, it should not be similar with my other films. So this is a different kind of an approach, and I want to do something which is very close to my heart without adultering the content.
Yeah. I was asking Mr. Faisal, because the Hindi dialogues are so natural.
Yeah.
That did you write them, or he just asked you to
No,
perform?
because I know quite a bit of Hindi, but there was dialogue supervisors in the location, and we were also because Faisal is from Bihar, and people from UP also, they will tell me like UP mein aisa nahi hota hai, and somebody will say that okay, no, this is not the dialect properly, let us rework on it, and then there is a kind of constant improvisation which is happening, which never happens in my films if I'm writing it in Malayalam, but here it was the other way, and I needed that cold look of Delhi, winter look of Delhi, and lots of people ask me because even my production asked me even if you look at Takeoff, I did that set in Kerala.
Yeah.
So why do you want the set in UP? Because I actually hire, because it's not about it's about skilled laborers.
Yeah.
So I need workers who are actually working in a gloves factory. So what I did is actually hired factory workers only, gave them their remuneration for a month, and then use them for my film, because otherwise it's difficult. And I made my actors also to train in a gloves factory. It's not about I send my actors to get trained in Kerala factories, lattice factories, and then when they went to North, it was entirely different. So the atmosphere is different. So they have to get acquainted to that. So that was the primary challenge for me. We shot the film in close to 25 days. That's the.
Okay. Oh wow.
But this was productive only because we had enough rehearsals. and enough
okay.
time in preparation and everything.
Okay, okay. I was coming to the music of the film.
Yeah.
There's no music. like, like
No, no.
if I go back, maybe there's some places,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
mostly like you
Yeah,
have not
because-
kept any music.
See, this is like that's what I'm like. Normally, when I do a film, what you do normally is that we try to enhance something with a lot of things.
Yeah.
But here, what I did is the factory ambience and the noise of the factory itself. Like when you go to a gloves factory, it's almost like 42 to 44 degrees
Okay.
Celsius. That's the
Okay.
temperature inside the factory. Just because it was winter, we could shoot the film. But when in Malaysia, the camera got hanged, and
Oh.
because it was so hot,
Yeah.
and and they were telling us like it's not easy to shoot inside this factory. Just because it was winter and in Delhi, we were able to shoot that thing. And then I was so fascinated because the plight of all these workers there, because they were not given enough time for loo breaks, because every time it's about the productivity of people, labor class. So and another thing is the challenging part is the kind of sounds they hear, like every time the line is running. So I know certain factories, most of the factories, latex factories or nitrile factories, they have never stopped functioning from the pandemic.
Okay.
They don't have an option to stop the machinery because that is their order is like that.
Yeah. There's a
So,
dialogue also in the film.
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
they have to function every time. So at one stage they will like some kind of, there is a kind of classification like A grade, B grade, and C grade. So all the C grades became A grade, B grade,
Okay.
and the B grade became A grade. So there is no C grade anymore
Okay.
because that was the need of the time, because
Yeah.
everybody was looking for gloves.
Yeah.
So I try to utilize that.
Okay. So my always fascinating thing is that how much of your films are made on the writing table compared to the editing table. Like how much do you change?
Most
and
of my films are made in writing table.
Okay.
Like and because I can tell you this because me being an editor,
Yeah.
I do less in my editing because
Okay.
I write for my edit.
Yeah.
I write for my edit and see even in Malik, a lot of people have asked me like whether you've removed a lot of things. Yeah, there are some things which got removed in the censor thing, but not about pretty much of thing. But the thing is that everything is pretty much written for the film, and whatever it is conceptualized for the film, I have tried to achieve it. I'm
Yeah.
not honestly saying that I've achieved it. I've tried to achieve it. That's what.
I think the audience will let you know
Yeah,
when
yeah.
the film is out.
That's what.
Also, last question about the performances and the some of the long takes, and because you're shooting in such a small places, like you get the claustrophobia feeling.
Yeah.
So how was that? Like, was it the rehearsal you trained a lot? Because some of the shots are beautiful.
So here, like me and my DOP Sanu, we constantly collaborate. So the thing is that we get a briefing when we start the shooting. Like for this film, we wanted to go completely handheld kind of a approach, where we don't want any kind of a cinematic emphasis on any particular shot or any particular scene. So we tried like that, and it is not about how you block a scene or how you treat a scene. It's about how the performances are being captured. So when somebody is good in this particular sequence, a good particular angle, we try to capture that. That's the only way we try to achieve it. And then another thing is that I always believe in a way where my form should not overtake my concept or
Yeah.
my narrative.
Yeah.
So I always keep that. Even if take for example, See You Soon. I See You Soon. A lot of people are saying that it's a new kind of a form, but I know that it's a new kind of form. But I always deliberately made that the form I don't want the form to overtake my content.
Yeah.
If the form overtakes the content, then it's a different kind of filmmaking. I
Yeah.
don't believe in that.
Yeah.
Today I'm not believing in that. Sometime tomorrow, I don't sometimes I'll change it. I don't know because I'm still learning.
So last question. I think everyone wants to know that. Have you seen my review of See You Soon?
Yeah.
I just want to know that.
I've seen all your reviews of my films.
So guys, last thing.
Yeah.
If people who have not seen your movie yet,
Yeah.
what can they expect from it in one line?
See, basically, I make my films all the way from the heart. So kindly try to watch it. See, most of my films are in platforms or If you get a chance to watch some films in theater, please try to watch it. That's my humble thing. That's it.
So guys, the film is coming at IFFK soon, and then it's coming on Netflix.
Netflix,
So do check it out. And thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nona. Thank you so much.